Imagine a bustling city like New York, where skyscrapers reach the sky and money rules the day. But deep down, everyone harbors a loneliness that no empire can fill. That's where we meet Lucas, the heir to a billionaire who lives trapped in a tower of glass and gold, programmed to follow a path he never chose, secretly dreaming of a life beyond cold meetings and crushing expectations. He's there, surrounded by luxury, but feeling an emptiness that screams for something real, something that truly makes his heart beat. A subtle injustice, because who would have thought the richest man in town could feel the most emotionally impoverished? Now consider the paradox. What if this modern prince's savior were someone who barely has enough to pay the bills? Like Anna, a waitress at a simple Chicago cafe who finds joy in the laughter of her customers and the small victories of everyday life. She represents that stubborn hope we see in everyone struggling to survive, but with a compassion that illuminates everything around her, challenging the idea that power comes only from money. It's controversial, right? In a world where status separates people, how could such a love blossom? Questioning whether the true miracle isn't in breaking down invisible barriers. But what if I told you this story will show you a transformation that proves the courage to choose your heart can change entire destinies, leaving you curious to know how a simple encounter can bring down an empire? Prepare yourself for a journey that will make you believe in goodness again, promising that, in the end, justice and overcoming always find a way. Because, deep down, everyone deserves a turnaround that touches their soul. Oh, imagine Lucas at the top of a New York skyscraper, surrounded by luxury that feels more like a gilded cage. Okay? He's the billionaire heir to a market-dominating empire, programmed since childhood to follow in his father's footsteps, with no room for his own dreams. Every day is the same routine, endless meetings, cold-blooded decisions worth fortunes. But deep down, he feels a void that money can't fill, as if life were just a script. His challenges are these: the pressure to be perfect, the fear of disappointing his family, and a loneliness that screams for something real, something that brings true hope. But what if this seemingly invincible tower were about to crack with a simple encounter? Lucas dreams of a transformation that will free him from this prison, like those moments when we stop and think, what if I gave it all up? He's there, wearing expensive suits, driving cars worth a house, but none of that gives him the courage to face his father and say, I want more than this. His days are filled with numbers and strategies, with no time for genuine laughter or true friendships, and this eats away at him, like a silent injustice. However, he carries a spark of redemption, believing that destiny has something greater in store, perhaps an overcoming that will change everything. And then, when he least expects it, life takes a turn, opening a door to a very different world. Just think, Lucas is at the height of his power, but his dreams are simple, a life of compassion, far from the masks the empire demands. He faces daily challenges, like ignoring his heart to prioritize duty, and this builds up a pain no one sees. But look, he's not just an empty playboy. He has an inner justice that questions whether it's worth sacrificing everything for money. This internal struggle is like that of anyone who has ever felt trapped at work, dreaming of a miracle that will set them free. And just when he's at his limit, something happens that promises to unite their destinies in an unexpected way. Now think about Anna, a waitress in a simple little cafe in Chicago, the kind that smells of fresh coffee and lighthearted conversation. Okay, she's there, waiting tables with a smile that lights up the place, finding joy in the little things, like a generous tip or a silly joke from a loyal customer. Her life isn't luxurious, but it has a freedom that comes from simplicity, without the pressures of empires or other people's expectations, just the day-to-day life she builds with her own hands. Her dreams are practical, maybe opening her own little place one day. But for now, she overcomes financial challenges with a compassion that makes everyone feel at home. And look, her authenticity is like a miracle for those accustomed to falsehoods, promising a turnaround for anyone who crosses her path. Anna doesn't have $1 billion inheritance, right? But she carries a hope that turns bad days into lessons, like when she helps a neighbor in need without expecting anything in return. Her challenges include long shifts and tight bills, but she faces them all with courage, laughing at her own mistakes to stay motivated. It's like that inner justice we feel when we see someone fighting for what's right, without giving up. At the cafe, she creates an atmosphere of redemption for her customers, listening to stories and offering a friendly ear, which makes her a figure who inspires resilience. But what if this quiet routine were about to collide with a world of unimaginable riches? Just think, Anna is there, living authentically, with everyday expressions that ring true, like a "Do you want more coffee?" said with genuine affection. Her dreams involve personal transformation, perhaps traveling or studying, but the challenges keep her grounded, teaching lessons of destiny she never imagined. With a touch of subtle humor, she jokes about hardships, like, "Today's a tough day, but tomorrow will be better," showing compassion for herself and others. This quiet strength is what captivates, a promise that true love can come from where you least expect it. And just when she least expects it, a stroke of fate brings someone who will change everything. Oh, imagine Lucas running through the rainy streets of Chicago, escaping yet another annoying commitment imposed by his father, like a meeting he didn't even want. Okay, he's stressed, his cell phone ringing nonstop with calls from his family, and he decides to duck into the first cafe he sees to hide for a while. This simple accident, an impulsive detour, connects destinies in a way no one anticipated, as if the universe were plotting a twist. Anna, behind the counter, has no idea that this wet, distracted guy is the heir to an empire, serving him a hot coffee with a "Are you okay? You look like you saw a ghost." And then, in this banal moment, begins a transformation that will challenge everything he knows about courage and hope. Lucas sits at a worn table, looking around this simple cafe that smells of fresh bread, so different from the fancy New York restaurants he frequents. He's running away not only from commitment, but from a suffocating life, and this accident thrusts him into a world of authenticity he's never experienced. Anna, with her natural compassion, offers a lighthearted conversation, asking about his day without judgment, which sparks a spark of redemption in him. It's like those real-life situations where a silly mistake leads to something big, proving that fate loves surprises. But what if this chance encounter was the miracle he needed to question his gilded prison? Just think, as the rain beats against the window, Lucas orders a simple sandwich, and Anna prepares it with care, laughing at a silly joke he makes to break the ice. This accident unites not only paths, but also hearts that seek justice in opposite worlds, with her representing the daily resilience he envies. He watches her handle rude customers without losing her smile, displaying a quiet courage that captivates him. Deep down, it's a lesson that love can be born from a stumble, transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary. And just when he thinks about leaving, something makes him stay, opening the door to encounters that will change everything. Lucas reflects there, sipping his coffee, on how this random detour brought a breath of freedom that his empire never provided. Anna, unknowingly, is planting seeds of hope in him, with simple gestures that speak of true compassion. The accident becomes a turning point, where he feels for the first time the weight of his inheritance as a prison, yearning for redemption. It's funny, isn't it, how life uses unforeseen circumstances to unite destinies, testing whether we have the courage to move forward. But look, this innocent moment is about to evolve into a look that will seal the inevitable. Oh, and as he pays the bill, exchanging a smile with Anna, the accident reveals itself as the beginning of a journey of transformation, full of promise and danger. She, with her authenticity, awakens in him a desire for self-righteousness, far from his father's rules. This union of opposing worlds carries a touch of miracle, as if fate were laughing at the irony. Lucas leaves changed, but returns the next day, unable to resist that spark of hope. And then, what comes next is a first glance that will shake the foundations of everything. Back to the cafe in Chicago, where Anna is at the counter, wiping a cup with an old cloth, when Lucas walks in again, still unaware that he's a billionaire heir. She sees him like any other customer, offering a "Hi, do you want the usual?" treating him with the same simplicity she uses with everyone, without frills or flattery. That first look from her, full of genuine curiosity, changes everything for him, as if it were a miracle awakening a hope that had been dormant. Lucas feels an internal transformation, sitting there, as she serves him coffee with a smile that lights up the room, making him question his life of appearances. And he thinks, right, how a gesture like that could be the beginning of a redemption he didn't even know he needed. Anna approaches the table, skillfully balancing the tray, and asks, "Is everything okay today? Yesterday you seemed to be running away from something," treating him like a normal person, unaware of the empire behind it. This exchanged look, filled with compassion, captivates Lucas in a way no fancy gathering ever has, awakening a courage to be authentic. It's like those situations in life where a stranger truly sees you, offering an emotional justice lacking in everyday life. He responds with a shy laugh, and she laughs along, adding a touch of subtle humor to the moment, as if fate were playing a trick on them. But look, this simple connection is about to reveal an authenticity that will enchant even more. Just think, as Anna takes the order, their eyes meet for a second too long, and Lucas feels a lurch in his chest, as if his golden world is losing its luster. She treats him without knowing his legacy, saying, "Relax, no one judges here," which brings a sense of accomplishment to him, accustomed to masks. This normalcy is a balm, reminiscent of those moments when we find solace in unpretentious conversations with friends. Lightly, she jokes, "You seem like one of those who never stops, huh?" Injecting humor into the drama but focusing on the growing emotion. And then, that initial glance paves the way for the deep captivation that follows. Lucas watches Anna move around the cafe, serving other customers with the same energy, and realizes how this normal treatment makes him feel alive for the first time in years. Her unassuming gaze plants seeds of transformation, challenging the social divide he hadn't even questioned before. It's a lesson in true compassion, like when someone listens to you without hidden agendas, bringing hope to weary hearts. He decides to stay a little longer, exchanging casual phrases, and humor strikes when she drops a spoon and laughs. Oops, that was one of those days. But this magical moment is leading to encounters that will expose opposing worlds. Oh, and in that first glance that changes everything, Anna remains oblivious to his identity, treating him with an honesty rare in his world, fostering a subtle redemption. Lucas feels destiny weaving invisible threads, his courage growing to explore further. It's immersive, right? As if you were there, smelling the coffee and the electricity in the air. She says, "Come back anytime, you liven up the place," with a smile that promises emotional justice. And just as he leaves, his enchantment with her authenticity makes him plan his next step, secret and full of promise. Now that the initial glance has passed, Lucas begins to notice Anna's authenticity, which captivates him like a breath of fresh air on a muggy Chicago day. Okay, she's there, telling a funny story about a clumsy client, laughing at herself with a, "Oh, you know how it is." Life throws you that way, without the masks or pretensions he sees in his wealthy circle. This rare honesty awakens in him a hope of redemption, making him enchanted by someone who truly lives, far from the falsehoods of the empire. He thinks, "Finally, someone who sees me for who I am," and this brings about a subtle transformation, as if fate were offering a miracle to his weary soul. But what if this captivation were the fuel for encounters that will challenge everything? Anna remains herself, right? Refusing an extra tip Lucas discreetly offers, saying, "No thanks, but I earn it for what I do, not out of pity," demonstrating an inner righteousness that impresses him. This attitude deeply captivates Lucas, contrasting with the people around him, always calculating advantages. It's like those true friendships where compassion comes without strings attached, bringing resilience to those trapped in power struggles. With a touch of humor, she jokes, "You seem like one of those people who never makes a mistake, but I bet you've spilled coffee too," lightening the drama with lightheartedness. And so this authenticity paves the way for shared secrets. Just think, Lucas returns to the cafe day after day, fascinated by how Anna handles hardships, like turning a messy table into an opportunity for lively conversation. This honesty captivates him, awakening the courage to admit weaknesses, something rare in his world of appearances. It's an emotional upheaval, reminiscent of those moments when we encounter someone who makes us feel alive again. He watches her compassionately help an elderly man with his groceries and thinks, "That's what's missing in my empire." But look, this charm is leading to hidden encounters, full of discoveries. Lucas's heart skips a beat when Anna shares simple dreams, like, "One day I'll travel to see the real ocean," without envying her wealth, which captivates him even more. This authenticity brings a lesson of hope, showing that true value lies in the essence, not in the bank. It's immersive, as if you're at the next table, feeling the electricity grow. With subtle humor, he laughs when she says, "You're becoming a regular, huh? Be careful not to get addicted to my bad coffee." But the focus is on the drama of a budding love. And just like that, the captivation deepens, promising secrets that will unite opposing worlds. Oh, and in this dance of glances and conversations, Anna's authenticity becomes the beacon that guides Lucas toward a possible redemption, questioning his golden destiny, He's captivated by the way she gracefully faces challenges, like brushing off a nagging boss with an, "Okay, let's do it." This connection brings emotional justice to him, who's fed up with lies, fostering an inner self-improvement. It's like a subtle miracle, transforming the everyday into something magical. But this enchantment is about to evolve into secret encounters that will test his limits. As their enchantment grows, Lucas and Anna begin to see each other secretly, away from the New York spotlight and the imperial gossip, arranging meetings in quiet Chicago parks at night, okay? They stroll through streets lit by old streetlights. He talking about family pressures while she laughs and says, "You need a day off, huh?" Discovering opposite worlds that complement each other. This courage to hide brings about a subtle transformation, with Lucas learning to appreciate the simplicity Anna represents, like sharing a street sandwich instead of expensive dinners. It's like those real-life romances where we escape the routine to experience something real, fostering hope for a love that overcomes barriers. But what if these stolen moments reveal truths that will shake everything? Anna takes Lucas to a local market, showing him how to bargain for fresh fruit with a "Look, you have to bargain like this." And he's captivated by her compassion for the vendors, so different from the cold approach of his business dealings. These secret encounters become a miracle for him, a redemption from emptiness, as they discover opposing worlds. She teaching him about the joy in small things. He sharing glimpses of luxury that fascinate her. It's a twist, isn't it, like when friends from different backgrounds connect and mutually change perspectives. With light humor, she jokes, "You've never had this? You're missing out," easing the growing emotional drama. And so, this mutual discovery paves the way for a truth that can no longer be hidden. Just think, on a park bench under the stars, Lucas opens his heart about the weight of his inheritance, and Anna listens with emotional justice, saying, "No one deserves to be trapped by what others expect," strengthening his resilience. These secrets unite them in a shared destiny, with her revealing dreams of a better life, and he admiring her courage to fight alone. It's immersive, as if you're right there, feeling the cool wind and the electricity between them. He surprises her with an impromptu picnic, and humor strikes when he burns the marshmallows, laughing, "I'm better at gatherings than campfires." But look, these encounters are leading to a discovery that will test their bond. Lucas and Anna escape to an old movie theater, watching a silly film, where she whispers, "Are you really laughing or faking?" exposing the authenticity that their opposing worlds highlight. This series of secrets brings mutual compassion, with him helping her fix a broken bicycle, learning lessons of resilience that his empire ignores. It's a transformation that echoes those stories where love conquers differences, injecting hope into weary hearts. With a light touch, he imitates her accent, and she bursts into laughter. But the focus is on the drama of a love growing in the shadows. And just like that, the secret bubble is about to burst with an inevitable revelation. Oh, and in those furtive moments, they dance on an empty street to the sound of a sidewalk musician, with Anna saying, "This is life. You have to dance even without perfect music," inspiring redemption in Lucas. Discovering opposing worlds, he sees justice in her struggle, while she glimpses the weight of his wealth, creating a miracle of connection. It's like fate weaving invisible threads, testing their courage to move forward. Subtle humor appears when he stumbles into a pothole and she laughs. Heir or not, you're human. But the emotion pulsates strongly. And then, this secret phase leads directly to the moment when the truth comes out, changing the game. The secret meetings were going smoothly. But then comes the day when Anna, leafing through an old magazine at a Chicago cafe, sees a photo of Lucas next to his father, the famous New York billionaire. And the shock is like a bucket of cold water. Okay? She stops everything, eyes wide, muttering, "It can't be. You're the heir to that whole empire," confronting him at their next meeting with the magazine in hand. This discovery of the truth brings an emotional upheaval, shaking the trust they've built, but also awakening a hope that love can overcome lies. Lucas, taken by surprise, tries to explain, "I wanted you to see me for who I am, not for the money," showing courage in admitting his fear of being judged. And think, right, how secrets like that explode, testing whether there's redemption possible in this miracle of connection. Anna, her heart racing, throws the magazine on the table and says, "You lied to me." "Lucas, that's not fair," demanding an explanation as she nervously walks through the park, forcing him to face the injustice of his omission. This revealed truth becomes a turning point, with her questioning whether their fates are truly compatible. But he responds compassionately, "I was running away from my life, and you gave me real hope." It's like those situations in life where a lie of omission hurts but opens the door to honest overcoming. With a touch of bitter humor, she laughs. "Billionaire heir in my coffee? Sounds like a bad movie," lightening the heavy drama a bit. But look, this discovery is leading to a fear that will deepen the rift between them. Just think, Lucas sits next to her on the bench, taking her hand and saying, "The truth is, my world is a prison, and you are my freedom," trying to reconnect with sincere words. The discovery awakens in her a mixture of anger and compassion, reminiscent of those moments when we discover something about a friend that changes everything but strengthens bonds. He shares details of the empire, and she listens, realizing the courage he had to open up now. It's a turnaround that injects emotional justice, showing that lies have a cost, but also the potential for miracles. And then, the confrontation evolves into a profound conversation that exposes the real fear of the social abyss. Anna, processing everything, walks in circles and declares, "You're playing with fire. This won't work." But Lucas rebuffs her with determination, promising to fight for what they feel. This stark truth brings them both to overcome, like destiny forcing them to grow together. It's immersive, right? Like being in the park, feeling the tension in the air and the chill of the wind. With subtle humor, he says, "At least now you know why I order black coffee, as a change from caviar," trying to break the ice. But this revelation paves the way for a fear that will truly test their love. Oh, and as tears stream down her face, Lucas embraces her, whispering, "I'll prove this is real, not an illusion," turning the discovery into a catalyst for redemption. Anna, with her authenticity, asks, "What if your world swallows me?" But he responds with hope. "Together we can overcome." This exposed truth is like a miracle in disguise, uniting them even stronger despite the pain. The drama pulsates, with connections to real couples facing social differences, injecting courage into the narrative. And just like that, the fear of the social abyss arises, threatening everything they've built. With the truth exposed, Anna feels the weight of the social abyss like an invisible wall between them, telling Lucas directly, "Our love has no future, you know. Your parents will never accept a waitress like me," as she walks nervously down a Chicago street. Okay? This fear consumes her, imagining the scornful looks of New York's elite, and she stops, eyes brimming with tears, questioning if their fates are truly compatible. Lucas tries to calm her, taking her hand and saying, "You're more than that, Anna. You're my hope." But she retorts with compassion mixed with pain. "It's not about me. It's about the world that created you." It's like those true stories where class differences become giant obstacles, testing the courage for a change. But what if this fear were the catalyst for a promise that will change everything? Anna sits on a bench, hugging her knees, and confides, "You live in towers of gold. I barely pay rent. It's not fair," exposing her fear of being seen as an opportunist in his empire. Lucas, with an internal transformation pulsing, kneels and says, "I'll face them for us, you'll see." But she shakes her head, thinking of the overcoming it would require. This raw conversation brings subtle redemption, associating itself with those couples who struggle with family prejudices, injecting a miracle of honesty. With bitter humor, she laughs. "Imagine me at a fancy dinner knocking over expensive glasses, easing the emotional drama. And then, this abyss is forcing Lucas to make a promise that will test his heart. Just think, Anna gets up and walks, saying, 'You're deluded, Lucas. Money divides more than it unites,' while he follows her, courageously insisting, 'I'll prove that love is greater.' This fear of the abyss awakens compassion for him in her, knowing how much he risks, but also a stubborn hope of overcoming. It's immersive, right? As if you feel the cold Chicago breeze and the tension in the air, echoing the social injustices so many people experience. He turns her to him and promises, 'Together we can change this.' But she hesitates, fearing a cruel fate. But look, this doubt is leading straight to a promise from the heir that will shake the foundations. Lucas gently stops Anna, looking her in the eye and declaring, "No matter what anyone says, you're my justice in this crazy world." But she responds, "What if I drag you down? Can you handle it?" This social fear turns into a twist, forcing them to face opposing realities with mutual redemption. It's like a miracle in disguise, the kind we see in friendships that overcome barriers, bringing lessons in true compassion. Lightly, he jokes, "Would your parents accept me? I'm the playboy, right?" But the focus is on the deep emotion. And just like that, the conversation evolves into a promise he makes, full of determination. Oh, and as the sun sets over the city, Anna sighs. "Okay, but you know this is going to be a battle," acknowledging the transformation love demands, but still fraught with fear. Lucas, with hope shining, squeezes her hand and vows to fight, inspiring a resilience she couldn't even imagine. This dynamic is like fate weaving threads of courage, testing whether the chasm can be bridged. The humor is subtle when she says, "You against an empire?" It sounds like a fairy tale in reverse, but the pain throbs. And then this phase of doubt leads to the first real battle he will face. After his fear is exposed, Lucas looks Anna in the eyes, there on the Chicago street, and declares firmly, "I'll prove that love is stronger than money, you'll see," promising to fight the abyss that separates them. Okay? He hugs her tightly, whispering plans to confront his family, showing a courage he didn't even know he possessed, as if fate were offering a chance at redemption. Anna, still hesitant, feels a spark of hope but asks, "Are you crazy? Your world will swallow you." And he retorts, "Together we can overcome it. This is our transformation." It's like those moments in life when a promise turns the tide, injecting compassion into divided hearts. But what if that vow led to a battle that would test everything? Lucas picks up his phone and schedules a family meeting, telling Anna, "I'll talk to them tomorrow, for us," demonstrating resilience by prioritizing his heart over his New York empire. She watches him, admiring the turnaround, and says, "You've got courage, huh? But be careful not to burn yourself," mixing concern with a touch of subtle humor. This promise becomes a miracle for them, associating them with those couples who face conservative families for true love. He plans the exact words, rehearsing, "Dad, love can't be bought," fostering emotional justice. And then, this determination paves the way for the initial confrontation that will shake the foundations. Just think, Anna walks Lucas to the car and he swears, "No matter the cost, you're my true hope," turning fear into fuel for mutual redemption. She laughs lightly. "You sound like a movie hero, but okay, I believe you," lightening the drama with levity. But the focus is on the pulsating emotion. This promise is like fate weaving threads of compassion, testing whether love triumphs over money in opposing worlds. Lucas feels an inner overcoming, ready to challenge his father for the first time. But look, this vow is leading straight to the first battle, full of tension. Lucas, the next day, drives home thinking about his promise, repeating to himself, "I'll prove that justice isn't in the bank, but in the heart," inspiring a courage that changes everything. Anna, back at the cafe, reflects on the turnaround, feeling a miracle unfold despite her doubts. Like when we bet on love against the odds. It's immersive, right? As if you were in the car with him, feeling his nervousness and determination. Humorously, he texts, "If I survive, we'll celebrate with your bad coffee." But the seriousness pulsates strongly. And just like that, the promise materializes at the time of the family struggle. Oh, and as Lucas prepares, Anna encourages him with a call. "You'll make it? Remember our transformation," reinforcing the hope that unites them against the abyss. This vow brings them both resilience, echoing real stories of loves that challenge the status quo with compassion. Fate seems to conspire, offering a miracle disguised as newfound courage. He enters the New York mansion, chest open, ready to stand up for what he feels. And then, this promise phase leads to the first battle, where words become actions. The moment of the first battle arrives, with Lucas entering the meeting room of the New York mansion, facing his father, a tough man who built his empire with an iron fist. Okay? He takes a deep breath and says bluntly, "Dad, I love someone who's not from our world, and you're not going to stop me," defending his right to love with a courage that surprises even himself. His father, surprised, retorts, "That's crazy, boy, a waitress. Think of the inheritance." But Lucas doesn't back down, arguing, "Love brings true hope, more than any amount of money." This confrontation turns into a turning point, like those family battles where we fight for what our hearts tell us, injecting compassion amidst the tension. But what if this initial fight opens wounds that will test the entire empire? Lucas paces the room, eyes fixed on his father, and declares, "You raised me to be strong, now I use that to choose my destiny." demonstrating resilience by prioritizing love over duty. His father, red with rage, threatens, "If you persist in this, you'll lose everything." But Lucas responds with emotional justice. Fair is to truly live, not in a gilded prison. It's a transformation that echoes real stories of children defying controlling parents, fostering mutual redemption. With a touch of bitter humor, Lucas laughs. "You always said I was weak. Look at me here now," lightening the heavy drama. And so, this battle is paving the way for an ultimatum that will complicate everything. Just think, his father bangs on the table and shouts, "Break up with her or forget the company." But Lucas, with a miracle of determination, retorts, "I prefer happiness with Anna to a soulless empire," defending his right to love like never before. This first struggle awakens hope in him, reminiscent of those moments when we confront bosses or family over principles. Anna, waiting for news in Chicago, sends a message of support, strengthening the compassion between them. It's immersive, right? As if you were in the room, feeling the heavy air and the echoing voices. But look, the confrontation evolves into a choice that will break hearts. Lucas, his voice trembling but firm, looks at his father and says, "You're wrong. Love is the greatest justice there is," turning the battle into a lesson in courage against the status quo. His father, stunned, tries to argue with numbers and legacies, but Lucas cuts him off. "That doesn't buy redemption, Dad. This passionate defense is like destiny conspiring to overcome, testing family bonds in a raw way." With subtle lightness, he adds, "Remember when you fought for your empire? Now it's my turn." But the focus is on the pulsating emotion. And just like that, the battle ends with tensions high, leading to the inevitable ultimatum. Oh, and as he leaves the room, Lucas feels a mixture of relief and fear, thinking, "I did the right thing for us, Anna," with the promise of love echoing like a miracle in disguise. His father stands there reflecting, but the turnaround is only beginning, injecting compassion into a cold world. This first defense brings Lucas resilience, echoing real battles where the heart overcomes pride. Humor emerges when he thinks, "I survived the first round, phew," but seriousness throbs strongly. And then, this phase leads straight to his father's ultimatum, which will force impossible choices. After the first battle, Lucas's father calls an urgent meeting at the New York mansion, sitting behind the imposing desk and coldly saying, "Either you break up with this waitress or you lose the inheritance and your position in the company," dropping the ultimatum like a bombshell that shakes everything, okay? Lucas is paralyzed, feeling the weight of the choice between love and duty, but courageously responds, "Dad, that's not fair. Love isn't negotiable like that," vehemently defending Anna. This moment becomes a dramatic turnaround, awakening hope of redemption amidst the family tension, as if fate were testing the true value of things. The father, impassive, lists the benefits of the empire, but Lucas thinks of Anna, feeling a compassion that drives him to resist and think right. How ultimatums like these resonate in royal families, forcing painful transformations that lead to overcoming. His father crosses his arms and insists, "You're throwing everything away for an illusion. Boy, think about your legacy." But Lucas counters, "A legacy without a heart is empty. I choose the hope it gives me," demonstrating a miracle of inner determination. This pressure brings emotional injustice, similar to those bosses who force impossible choices at work, injecting drama that touches the viewer. Lucas paces the room, remembering his encounters with Anna, and his father notices the change but maintains his ultimatum. With a touch of bitter humor, Lucas thinks, "You built an empire, but you don't know how to handle love?" Lightening the burden for a second. But look, this tension is forcing a choice that will break hearts in unpredictable ways. Just think. Lucas looks at his father and declares, "You don't understand. Anna taught me true compassion, more than any meeting." But the elderly billionaire retorts, "That's weakness. Break up or leave." This ultimatum sparks a turning point in Lucas, questioning the fate his father planned, fostering a courage that promises redemption. It's immersive, as if you're in the luxurious room, feeling the heavy air and the voices echoing off the marble walls. Anna, in Chicago, anxiously awaits news, representing the quiet resilience that inspires him to fight. And then, the confrontation evolves into a decision that will test the limits of duty and heart. The father concludes with, "Decide now, or lose everything." And Lucas, his voice trembling, responds, "You're forcing me to choose, but love is my justice." transforming the ultimatum into a catalyst for profound change. This dynamic brings a subtle miracle, echoing real stories of heirs who abandon fortunes for true passions, injecting hope into the drama. Lucas feels his chest tighten, thinking about the transformation Anna has brought about. But his father doesn't relent, maintaining the pressure. Lightly, he recalls a joke Anna once had about stressed-out rich people, but the focus is on the raw emotion. But what if this impossible choice reveals a pain that will separate their paths? As he leaves the room, Lucas mutters, "You'll regret it, Dad. Love wins in the end." The ultimatum echoing like a cruel fate demanding heroic overcoming. His father stands there, reflecting for the first time. But the turnaround is only beginning, fostering compassion in a world of cold ambitions. This verbal battle is like a miracle in disguise, testing whether Lucas has the courage to prioritize his heart. The humor is subtle when he thinks, inheritance or happiness? Easy, right? But the seriousness pulsates strongly. And then, this phase leads directly to the impossible choice that will define their future. With the ultimatum echoing in his head, Lucas locks himself in the bedroom of the New York mansion, debating the impossible choice between his love for Anna and his duty to the family empire, okay? He paces, thinking, if I stay with her, I'll lose everything you've built, Dad. But without her, what's the point? Feeling his heart split like a taut rope about to snap. This crossroads sparks an internal transformation, forcing him to weigh the hope Anna brings against the cold legacy of money, as if fate were demanding a painful redemption. Anna, in Chicago, calls worriedly saying, "You don't have to choose. We'll find a way." But he knows her compassion doesn't change the cruel reality. And think right, how common choices like these are in life, like leaving a secure job for a dream, truly testing courage. Lucas sits on his bed, looking at old family photos and murmurs, "Duty binds me, but love sets me free." Struggling against the injustice of an ultimatum that ignores his heart, this choice becomes an emotional upheaval, with him imagining a simple life with Anna versus the power of the empire, fostering resilience he never imagined. His father, on the other side of the door, presses for an answer, but Lucas internally retorts, "Can't you see this is about more than money?" Injecting a miracle of clarity into the chaos. With a touch of bitter humor, he chuckles to himself. Heir or boyfriend? Who would have thought I'd prefer her coffee to caviar? Easing the drama for a moment. But look, this internal struggle is leading to a pain that will separate paths in a devastating way. Just think, Lucas calls Anna at night, his voice breaking, and confesses, "You're my hope, but duty is suffocating me." While she responds compassionately, "Choose what makes you happy. I can handle it." This impossibility awakens emotional justice in him, associating himself with those who abandon inheritances for true passions, promising a profound transformation. He lists the pros and cons on a piece of paper, seeing how the empire represents security, but love with Anna, authentic redemption. It's immersive, as if you're in the dark room, feeling the weight of the decision and the ticking of the clock, and then the conflict culminates in a forced obedience that will break hearts. Lucas, after hours of agony, looks in the mirror and decides to obey his father temporarily, thinking, "I'll buy time for greater overcoming." But his heart screams against this impossible choice. This dynamic brings a subtle miracle, echoing real stories of life-changing moral dilemmas, injecting courage into the midst of pain. Anna, sensing the hesitation in his voice, says, "You're suffering, right? Remember that love is our justice." But he knows his family duty weighs more heavily now. Lightly, he jokes, "If I become poor, will you teach me to wait tables?" But the focus is on the raw emotion of impending betrayal. But what if this decision leads to a separation that reveals true emptiness? Oh, and as the sun rises, Lucas texts Anna, "I need to think, but you mean everything to me," with the impossible choice fueling a twist that tests their fate. His father smiles victoriously, but Lucas feels an inner redemption growing, like a miracle disguised in pain. This phase is like destiny forcing growth through compassion and resilience, questioning deep-seated values. Humor emerges as he thinks, choosing between gold and love. Easy on paper, right? But seriousness pulsates strongly. And then this crossroads leads straight to the pain of separation, which will destroy what they've built. With his choice made, Lucas arranges a meeting with Anna in a quiet Chicago park, sitting on a bench and saying in a choked voice, "I obey Dad, Anna. We have to break up. betraying his own heart and feeling a pain that tears like a knife. Okay? He explains the ultimatum, eyes brimming with tears, while she stands in shock, murmuring, "Are you kidding? After everything?" But he shakes his head, destroyed for prioritizing duty over love. This separation becomes a cruel twist, awakening an internal transformation in him, as if fate were testing the true courage of both. Anna, with compassion mixed with anger, touches his face and says, "You're destroying yourself for them. This isn't justice." But he knows obedience is the easier path now. And think, right? How breakups like this echo in real relationships, where fear overcomes hope, leading to painful overcoming. Lucas stands up, walking slowly, and confesses, "Without you, my world is empty, but the Empire holds me captive," while Anna crosses her arms, fighting back tears, responding, "You chose money, Lucas. What kind of redemption is this?" This pain of separation brings emotional injustice, associating itself with those who sacrifice passions for familial expectations, injecting a miracle of clarity into the chaos. He tries to hug her one last time, but she recoils, saying, "No, that hurts more," with a touch of bitter humor as she thinks, "Obedient heir, huh? Congratulations." The drama pulses strongly, as if you were there, feeling the cold wind and the heavy silence. But look, this betrayal is revealing a strength in Anna that will surprise you. Just think, Anna turns her back and walks away, whispering, "You destroyed what we built, but I'll get over it," while Lucas slumps on the bench, head in his hands, feeling his heart broken like never before. This forced obedience awakens a belated redemption in him, questioning if fate has a way back, fostering courage for a future reversal. It's immersive, isn't it? With the sun setting and birds flying, echoing the universal pain of interrupted loves. He cries, "Anna, wait!" But she doesn't look back, maintaining her dignity despite the compassion she still feels. And then, the separation tests her strength in a way that will inspire. Lucas, alone in the park, cries quietly, thinking, "I betrayed my heart for a worthless empire," while Anna arrives home and collapses on the couch, murmuring, "You gave me hope, but you took it away." This pain becomes a catalyst for transformation, like a miracle in disguise that teaches hard lessons about justice and love. He texts her, "I'm sorry, you deserve better," but she doesn't respond, choosing resilience over humiliation. With subtle lightness, she laughs to herself, "At least I learned not to trust princes," easing the emotional burden. But what if this separation revealed that true strength lies in maintained dignity? Oh, and as night falls, Lucas drives back to New York, his chest tight, reflecting on the betrayal he committed, with fate seeming cruel but perhaps preparing a greater redemption. Anna, in turn, calls a friend and says, "He obeyed, but I won't break," showing compassion for herself and a stubborn hope of overcoming. This phase is like a turning point that destroys in order to rebuild, testing hearts in opposing worlds. Humor arises when he thinks, "Now I'm rich and miserable. How ironic," but raw emotion prevails. And then pain leads to Anna's strength, which will shine through adversity. After the painful separation, Anna returns to the cafe in Chicago, wiping tables with trembling hands, but holding her head high and telling herself, "You won't humiliate yourself for anyone, Anna. Maintain your dignity," even with her heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. Okay. She serves customers with the same forced smile, responding to a friend, "He chose the empire, but I choose to rise again," demonstrating an inner strength that transforms pain into fuel for overcoming. This attitude awakens a quiet redemption in her, as if fate were offering a miracle of resilience without lowering its guard to beg for return. Lucas, far away in New York, thinks of her and admires her self-compassion. But Anna focuses on moving forward without humiliating herself with desperate calls. And think, right, how strong women like that inspire, maintaining emotional justice even when the world falls apart, leading to a transformation that will surprise. Anna arrives home at night, throws her keys on the table, and cries alone, but soon gets up murmuring, "You're more than this. You won't break for a cowardly heir," preserving the dignity that has always defined her. This strength makes her reject pity from her friends, saying, "It hurts, but I'll get through it without begging for love," injecting courage into the midst of pain, like those who turn things around after difficult breakups. Heartbreak becomes a catalyst for hope, connecting with those true stories where we grow through adversity, fostering true self-compassion. With a touch of subtle humor, she laughs, At least now I have time for my bad coffee alone, lightening the emotional drama. But look, this resilience is revealing a void in Lucas that will grow. Just think, Anna volunteers at a local shelter, helping others with bigger problems and thinks, "You're suffering, but look at those who truly need it," maintaining dignity by channeling her pain into positive actions. This choice awakens resilience in her, questioning whether fate has something better in store, without humiliating herself by chasing it. It's immersive, right? As if you were in the shelter, smelling the warm soup and seeing your strength shine among those in need. Lucas, imagining her, feels the injustice of the separation. But Anna remains steadfast, telling herself, true love doesn't destroy, it builds. And so, this quiet strength leads to a void in his rich life that will expose hard truths. Anna refuses a call from Lucas days later, deleting the message without reading it, muttering, "You don't deserve my humiliation. I deserve peace," preserving her pride even as her heart still aches. This dignity becomes a miracle of self-redemption, echoing lessons of self-compassion that transform victims into survivors. She goes out with friends, laughing at silly jokes, showing that the turnaround is happening internally, full of renewed hope. Lightly, she jokes, "Heirs? I prefer honest waiters now." But the focus is on the emotion of a woman who doesn't bow down. But what if this strength inspires a silent revolt in him? Oh, and as the days pass, Anna reorganizes her life, swapping shifts at the cafe and planning her own dreams, thinking, "You taught me lessons, Lucas, but I won't humble myself anymore," fostering a resilience that illuminates her path. This phase brings emotional justice, like destiny rewarding the courage of those who hold their heads high. Her broken heart becomes a seed of transformation, testing whether she can handle it without it, injecting redemption into her simple daily life. Humor emerges when she sees a news story about the empire and laughs, "You're rich, but I'm free." But seriousness pulsates strongly. And then, this strength leads straight to the emptiness of wealth that Lucas will discover, changing the game. Back in New York, Lucas immerses himself in the empire's routine, signing papers and leading meetings. But he feels an emptiness that transforms his gilded world into a cold, soulless prison, okay? He gazes at the skyscrapers through his office window, muttering, "Without Anna, all this is nothing, you know," discovering that wealth doesn't fill the hole in his heart left by their separation. This revelation sparks an internal upheaval, questioning the fate his father imposed, as if the miracle of her absence revealed the true injustice of a life without love. Lucas tries to distract himself with fancy parties, but returns home alone, missing the simple compassion she offered. And think, right, how many rich people out there discover that money can't buy happiness, leading to a breakthrough that begins in emptiness. Lucas sits on the expensive leather sofa, leafing through reports, but his mind wanders to Anna, thinking, "You taught me hope, and now this is just an echo," realizing that the empire is a cage without redemption. This discovery of emptiness gives him the courage to question his father's orders, like skipping a meeting to walk alone, associating himself with those who give up everything because they feel empty in success. His father notices the change and says, "You're weak, focus on your work." But Lucas counters internally, "Justice is having a heart, not just numbers." With a touch of bitter humor, he laughs, "Rich and miserable, what a joke fate is," lightening the emotional drama. But look, this hole is fomenting a revolt that will manifest itself subtly. Just think, Lucas turns down a promotion telling his father, "I don't want this nonsense anymore," feeling the emptiness of wealth like a prison that suffocates any spark of transformation. This phase awakens self-compassion, echoing real stories of executives who burn everything in search of something real, injecting hope for redemption. He calls a friend and confesses, "You can't imagine how empty it is here without her." But the friend doesn't understand, emphasizing the loneliness. It's immersive, right? As if you were in the luxurious apartment, listening to the oppressive silence and watching him pace. And then the emptiness is leading to actions that will sabotage the family's plans. Lucas, in a meeting, suggests humanized ideas that his father rejects, thinking, "You're wrong, Dad. The empire needs overcoming, not just profit," only to discover that without Anna, nothing makes sense. This realization becomes a miracle of clarity, testing his courage for a major turnaround, fostering internal justice against the cold system. He secretly looks at photos of her on his phone, feeling the pain of his own betrayal, like destiny conspiring to change. Lightly, he jokes to himself, "Now I'm the king of nothing, Congratulations, Lucas. But the focus is on the emotions of a lost man. But what if this emptiness inspired a silent revolt against everything? Oh, and as the days drag on, Lucas avoids family dinners, muttering, "You trapped me here, Dad, but my heart is with her," with the emptiness of wealth fostering a transformation that promises subtle redemption. This gilded prison brings lessons of lost compassion, as if fate were preparing a heroic overcoming through pain. He begins to question dubious contracts, injecting hope for change into the rigid empire. Humor emerges when he thinks, "Rich without love. I'd rather have her coffee any day." But seriousness throbs strongly. And then, this phase leads directly to the silent revolt that will shake the foundations. Immersed in the emptiness of New York's wealth, Lucas begins to subtly sabotage his father's plans, like delaying an important signing with a, "Oh, you know, Dad, this doesn't feel right," quietly planting seeds of doubt in the empire. Okay? He alters reports to include more humane ideas, like employee benefits, telling colleagues, "We need compassion here, not just profit," fostering a quiet transformation that questions the cold system. This silent revolt awakens courage in him, as if destiny were guiding a gradual redemption, far from his father's eyes. Lucas feels a spark of hope when he sees small impacts, like an employee expressing gratitude for a change, proving that justice can come from discreet actions. But what if this subtlety escalates into something his father can't ignore? Lucas, in a meeting, suggests pausing a dubious deal, muttering, "You're pushing too hard, Dad. This is going to hurt real people," sabotaging the plan with veiled objections that sow discord within the team. This subtle action becomes an internal upheaval, joining those who change companies from the inside out, injecting resilience into the corporate routine. He sends anonymous emails to directors, highlighting ethical lapses, with a touch of humor when he thinks, "You built this, Dad, but I'm slowly dismantling it." The miracle lies in the compassion that grows, testing his courage to continue without getting caught. And then, this outrage leads to a reunion that will expose everything. Just think, Lucas ignores his father's calls to visit a simple cafe in New York, remembering Anna, and there he jots down ideas for reforming the empire, sabotaging old plans with notes that this doesn't bring hope to others. This silent rebellion awakens redemption in him, like fate conspiring for emotional justice in a world of ambition. He amends a contract to include fair clauses, telling his assistant, "You understand, right? We need to get over the old ways." It's immersive, right? As if you were in the dark office watching him type with quiet determination. But look, this subtlety is paving the way for a chance encounter that changes the course. Lucas, alone in the elevator, deletes a key file belonging to his father, thinking, "You forced me to choose. Now I choose what's right," fostering a transformation that echoes the resilience of rebellious heirs in real-life stories. This revolt brings compassion to the oppressed in the empire, injecting a miracle of subtle change that his father doesn't even realize yet. Lightly, he laughs, "I sabotaged my own legacy. How ironic, huh?" Lightening the drama with self-mockery. Fate seems to approve, testing his courage to go beyond silence. And just like that, the revolt leads to a reunion that will test broken hearts. Oh, and while his father praises a fake success, Lucas smiles inwardly, knowing he sabotaged the plan with a fabricated, technical flaw, muttering, "You'll see, Dad, true justice comes slowly." This phase awakens hope for complete redemption, like a quiet turnaround that builds towards something great. He feels the resilience growing, associating himself with those who change systems quietly, full of hidden compassion. Humor arises when he thinks, silent revolt? More like a rebellious whisper, but emotion pulsates strongly. And then, this subtle sabotage leads directly to an accidental reunion, full of emotional surprises. Weeks after the breakup, Lucas decides to visit a charity shelter in Chicago to clear his conscience, distributing anonymous donations, when suddenly he sees Anna volunteering there, serving soup with a genuine smile. Okay? He stops in the corner, heart racing, murmuring, "Anna, you here?" And she turns, eyes wide, saying, "Lucas, what are you doing in a place like this?" Showing her true compassion for those in need. This accidental reunion becomes a twist of fate, awakening hope in him as he sees how she overcame her pain without humiliation, like a miracle that unites broken paths. Anna continues to serve, without letting her guard down, but he notices her quiet courage. helping an elderly man with kind words. You'll be okay, we'll get through this together. And think, right, how do encounters like this happen in real life? Like bumping into an ex at an unexpected event, testing if redemption is possible. Lucas approaches slowly, offering to help carry boxes and says, "You've always been like this, helping without expecting anything. That's your justice." While she coldly responds, "You chose your path. Don't come with this bullshit now." This moment exposes her character, volunteering overtime for families in crisis, telling a child, "Hope is in the little things, you know," inspiring resilience in everyone around her. The turnaround brings mutual compassion, connecting with those who reconnect in noble causes, fostering a subtle transformation in him. With a touch of light humor, he jokes, "I'm here donating, you're serving. It seems like a plot of fate," easing the emotional tension. But look, this accident is leading to a decision that will change the course of everything. Just think, Anna wipes her hands on her apron and looks at him asking, "Did you come to redeem yourself or just hang out?" While Lucas responds honestly, "I saw the emptiness without you, Anna. This reminds me of what matters." This reunion highlights her character, efficiently organizing donations, helping a single mother with practical advice. "You have strength, you'll get through this." It's immersive, right? As if you were in the noisy shelter, smelling the food and the electricity in the air between them. Fate seems to conspire, instilling courage in him by seeing the redemption she experiences daily. And then, the conversation evolves into a confession that will force a final choice. Lucas helps set up tables, and Anna reluctantly shares, "You hurt me, but I didn't stop living. This is my overcoming," revealing the strong character that captivates him again. This accidental encounter sparks a miracle of clarity, questioning whether empire is worth it without true love, fostering emotional justice. He watches her interact with volunteers, full of compassion, thinking, "You're the opposite of my cold world." Lightly, she laughs at a mess he makes. "You're still clumsy, huh? Not even wealth can fix that." But the focus is on the emotion of a bond rekindled. But what if this moment led to a decision that renounces everything? As the day draws to a close, Lucas touches her arm and says, "You showed me what's real, Anna. I can't stand the emptiness anymore." With the accidental reunion fueling a transformation that promises complete redemption, Anna, with cautious hope, responds, "Are you serious? Or is this just another empty promise?" Highlighting her unwavering character that inspires him to action. This phase is like fate weaving threads of courage, testing whether love overcomes pride, injecting resilience into the air. The humor is subtle when he says, "I volunteered for one day and I'm already exhausted. You're a hero." But the seriousness pulsates strongly. And then, this encounter leads directly to the final decision, where definitive choices will be made. After the reunion at the Chicago shelter, Lucas returns to New York with his heart on fire, scheduling a final meeting with his father and declaring, "I choose love over empire, Dad. I renounce everything for Anna," renouncing the inheritance with a courage that transforms him from heir to free man. Okay? He stacks documents on the table, signing the waiver without hesitation, saying, "You taught me ambition, but she showed me true compassion," turning his back on the gilded world that suffocated him. This final decision awakens a miraculous turnaround in him, as if fate were applauding the redemption of those who prioritize their heart over money. His father, stunned, shouts, "Are you crazy? This is the end." But Lucas responds hopefully, "No, it's the beginning of something real." And think, right, how decisions like these resonate in real lives, like quitting a toxic job for happiness, testing true resilience. Lucas calls Anna from the car, his voice trembling with emotion, and says, "You won. I gave up everything. Let's build together." While she, still in the shelter, sighs with relief, "You had courage. Lucas, this is justice for our love." This choice about the empire brings profound transformation, with him leaving the mansion without looking back, carrying only a suitcase and memories. It's like a miracle of liberation, joining those who abandon fortunes for authentic passions, fostering mutual compassion. With a touch of light humor, he laughs, "Now I'm poor like you, Anna. Teach me how to survive," lightening the emotional drama. But look, this renunciation is leading to a fresh start that will test their bond in new ways. Just think, Lucas arrives in Chicago by train, without a luxury car, and embraces Anna at the station, whispering, "You're my hope. I gave it up to prove it," sealing the decision with a kiss that speaks of redemption. This final choice awakens a sense of resilience in him, questioning the fate his father planned, injecting justice into the air like a fresh breeze. Anna, eyes shining, says, "You gave up everything. This is beautiful madness." And they laugh together, feeling the pulsation of the upheaval. It's immersive, right? As if you were on the noisy platform, smelling the rain and the electricity of their reunion. And then, the magical moment evolves into plans for a simple life, full of promise. Lucas, now with nothing, sits with Anna on a station bench and plans, you and me against the world, no empire to get in the way, renouncing the past with a courage that inspires mutual transformation. This decision brings a miracle of unity, echoing real stories of couples who start over from scratch, fostering hope for a better future. He jokes, "Do you think I'm cut out to be a waitress? I'm ready to learn," adding levity to the drama of leaving everything behind. His father, far away, reflects on the empty mansion, but Lucas focuses on her compassion, feeling the justice of the choice. But what if this fresh start brought challenges that test true love? As they walk to her house, Lucas holds Anna's hand and swears, "You saved me. This is our overcoming," with the final decision fostering a redemption that lights the path ahead. This phase awakens deep compassion, like fate rewarding the courage of those who choose heart over power. Anna responds, "You resigned for us? That's the greatest miracle," injecting hope into the Chicago night air. The humor is subtle when he says, "Now I'm the former heir, will you take care of me?" But the emotion pulsates strongly. And then this choice leads straight to the beginning of nothingness, where intact dignity will shine. With the resignation made, Lucas and Anna settle into a cramped little apartment in Chicago, with no luxuries, just an old bed and a makeshift kitchen, starting from scratch with dignity intact, okay? They laugh as they share some instant noodles. He's saying, "You think I can survive without caviar? We'll see," while she replies, "You'll learn. Real life is like that, with hope in what comes next." This phase brings a fresh transformation, as if fate were rewarding the courage to leave everything for true love, maintaining pride without begging for help from the empire. Lucas gets a simple job as a delivery driver, sweating to pay the bills, but Anna supports him compassionately, saying, "You're overcoming yourself. This is our justice." And think right, how real couples start over after losses, testing whether dignity sustains the bond without money. Lucas stumbles in the early days, burning dinner and laughing. "You saved me again, Anna. I'm a disaster in the kitchen." But they maintain their dignity intact, refusing loans from friends, focusing on building together. This simplicity awakens redemption in him, questioning the emptiness of the past, injecting a miracle of contentment into the humble everyday. Anna, with her strength, manages the tight budget, saying, "You see, without an empire, we have peace," fostering mutual resilience. With a touch of light humor, he jokes, "Now I'm the king of nothing, but with the best queen," lightening the adjustment drama. But look, this beginning is leading to trials that will test love in unexpected ways. Just think, Anna returns from breakfast exhausted, and Lucas massages her feet, murmuring, "You're my inspiration. Together we can make this something big," preserving dignity by valuing mutual efforts. This fresh start awakens deep compassion, connecting with those who build lives after bankruptcy, instilling hope for a better future. He helps with the cleaning, learning basic tasks, and she laughs. "You're becoming a cleaning expert, who would have thought?" It's immersive, right? As if you were in the cramped apartment, smelling the simple food and the electricity of the bond strengthening. And then, the phase evolves into the challenges of poverty that will test true love. Lucas and Anna stroll through the neighborhood, hand in hand, discussing modest dreams like, "Do you want a small house someday?" Maintaining their dignity by dreaming without regretting their wealthy past. This decision brings a turnaround, as he discovers joy in simple things, fostering redemption that the empire never provided. Anna encourages him, "You gave up for us. That's pure overcoming," injecting emotional justice into the everyday atmosphere. Lightly, he imitates his father. "Inheritance? I prefer this." But the focus is on the emotion of a couple being reborn. But what if poverty brought tests that shake the relationship? As they pay the last bill with counted coins, Lucas embraces Anna and says, "You gave me this, true dignity, with nothing but us." With the beginning of nothing fostering a transformation that promises a miracle of lasting union. This phase awakens stubborn hope, like fate weaving threads of courage amid scarcity, testing whether love survives without gold. Anna responds, "You chose right. We'll overcome it together," injecting compassion into the humble home. The humor is subtle when he says, "Poor but happy." Cliché, right? But real. But the seriousness pulsates strongly. And then, this new beginning leads directly to the test of true love, full of unexpected events. In their little Chicago apartment, poverty begins to test Lucas and Anna's relationship in unexpected ways. Like when the bills pile up and he arrives late from work saying, "Sorry, the boss held me back, but we'll figure it out," while she sighs wearily, "Okay." They argue about sharing expenses, with Anna saying, "You're trying hard, but it's wearing us out, huh?" Revealing subtle cracks in the bond that true love must overcome. This test sparks a transformation in them, questioning whether fate brought them together to strengthen or tear them apart, injecting mutual compassion to navigate the hardships. Lucas, a former heir, washes dishes to help, but Anna notices the stress, murmuring, "You gave up everything." But reality hits hard. And think, how do real couples face financial tests that prove whether love is made of iron or paper, fostering redemption through resilience? Lucas loses a day's pay due to his boss's mistake, and Anna comforts him, "Don't be discouraged. We'll get through this together. This is our justice." But internally, they feel the unexpected pressure of scarcity, testing their daily patience. This phase takes a turn for the worse, with him suggesting budget cuts, saying, "Do you think we can sell this?" to have some money left for rent, while she reluctantly agrees, maintaining her dignity intact. True love is tested in moments like a night without electricity, laughing in the dark. See? Free candlelit romance, adding lighthearted humor to the drama. It's like a miracle in disguise, forcing overcoming difficulties that strengthen the bond. But look, these tests are leading to discoveries that will turn the tide in their favor. Just think, Anna falls ill with the flu for long shifts, and Lucas nurses her with hot tea, whispering, "You are my strength." This proves our love endures. But unexpected poverty brings fears of instability, testing their trust. This test awakens courage in him, joining those who build families amid crises, fostering hope for shared redemption. She recovers and says, "You saved me again, but we need more than love to survive," injecting emotional justice into the cramped atmosphere of the apartment. Lightly, he jokes, "Poverty? At least we lose weight for free," easing the tension. And then, the challenges evolve into revelations of talents that will change everything. Lucas and Anna argue over a large bill, with him saying, "You're right, I miscalculated, sorry," but they quickly reconcile, proving that true love endures the unexpected challenges of poverty with compassion. This dynamic brings transformation, like fate testing to refine, echoing real stories of couples who thrive in adversity. Anna suggests ideas for saving, and he admires, "You're smart, that's our resilience," fostering a miracle of stronger unity. It's immersive, right? As if you were in the messy room, feeling the weight of worries and the warmth of a hug. But what if these tests revealed abilities that surpass the ancient empire? While counting coins for food, Lucas embraces Anna and vows, "You and I against all odds." This proves our true love, with unexpected poverty fostering a redemption that illuminates new paths. This phase awakens stubborn hope, injecting courage to face what lies ahead, like destiny conspiring for something greater. Anna responds, "You held on. This is justice for our new beginning," keeping the focus on the emotion of a tried and true bond. The humor is subtle when he says, "Poor but creative. Who needs an empire?" But the seriousness pulsates strongly. And then, these tests lead directly to the discovery of talents that will shine. While dealing with poverty in Chicago, Anna begins to reveal entrepreneurial skills that surpass Lucas's, like when she reorganizes the apartment's tight budget, saying, "See, if we cut here and invest there, we'll have enough left for the essentials," creating a simple plan that gets them out of the red, okay? Lucas, impressed, watches her jot down ideas in an old notebook, murmuring, "You're brilliant." Anna, "This is better than my father's strategies," recognizing that her practical vision surpasses his, shaped by years of unnecessary luxury. This discovery sparks a transformation in them, as if fate were highlighting her hidden talents to balance the bond, injecting hope for a future built on real merit. Anna compassionately teaches him, "You learn fast, but the secret is empathy with people, not just numbers." And think, right, how many people discover gifts in times of crisis, like a housewife becoming an entrepreneur, fostering overcoming that changes lives. Lucas tries to help with the planning, but Anna gently corrects him. No, you're complicating things. Simplify it this way, revealing skills that surpass his own by predicting costs and opportunities he overlooks, turning the tide in his daily life. This revelation brings him redemption, questioning his rich past while she says, "You gave me a chance to shine. Now we build together." It's like a miracle of partnership, akin to those couples where one partner surprises the other with unexpected talents, fostering emotional justice. With a touch of light humor, he laughs, "You're the CEO now, I'm the intern," easing the adjustment drama. But look, this discovery is leading to ideas that will grow into their own business. Just think, Anna proposes selling homemade cakes in the neighborhood, calculating profits precisely. "You do the deliveries, I'll take care of the recipes and sales," demonstrating entrepreneurial skills that leave Lucas speechless, surpassing his corporate experience with sharp intuition. This phase awakens courage in her, injecting compassion into the plan by prioritizing local customers, such as offering discounts to needy families. Lucas admires her. "You think of everything, that's pure overcoming, transforming nothing into something promising." It's immersive, right? As if you were in the messy kitchen, smelling the cakes and watching her eyes sparkle with ideas. And then, the revealed talents evolve into a small business that begins to take off. Lucas tests one of her ideas, selling the first cakes, and returns excited. "You nailed it. We sold everything," confirming that Anna's skills surpass his own in attracting customers with simple, authentic marketing. This discovery brings a turnaround, fostering mutual redemption by valuing each other's strengths, like fate balancing opposing forces. Anna laughs. "See? You don't need an empire to win," injecting hope into the sweet kitchen air. Lightly, he jokes, "You fired me from my own empire, now I'm your employee." But the focus is on the excitement of an invincible team. But what if this talent led to growth that defies the ancient giant? While they count their first profits, Anna refines the "you take care of deliveries, I'll expand to the neighbor's" plan, revealing talents that surpass Lucas's by predicting local trends with intuitive precision. This revelation sparks a miracle of empowerment, testing whether true love flourishes in equal partnerships, fostering overcoming that illuminates the future. Lucas embraces her. "You're brilliant. That's our justice," injecting compassion into the nascent business. The humor is subtle when she says, "You used to be a billionaire, now you sell cakes. Progress, huh?" But the seriousness pulsates strongly. And then, this discovery leads directly to the small business that grows, full of forgotten values. With Anna's talents revealed, they launch a small business selling homemade cakes and coffee in Chicago, starting with a small table on the street and simple recipes that she perfects, saying, "You deliver, I'll handle the sales. This will grow with real value." Okay? Lucas carries heavy boxes for customers, sweating but smiling. "You're the mastermind, Anna. This is better than my father's empire," while the business gains traction by prioritizing quality and empathy, like offering free samples to neighbors in need. This expansion awakens a transformation in them, as if fate were blessing their honest effort, injecting hope that values forgotten by the corporate world can triumph. Anna manages finances with precision, surpassing his abilities in forecasting demand, fostering mutual improvement in a venture that starts small, but attracts a line. And think, right, how real startups grow from garages, testing whether compassion overcomes greed, leading to success that lights up the neighborhood. Lucas promotes the business door to door, telling residents, "You taste it, it's made with love, not cold machines." And Anna innovates flavors based on feedback, revealing that her human values surpass the cold strategies of the old empire. This growth brings redemption to him, questioning the empty past, while loyal customers return because of the authenticity, like one woman saying, "You changed my day with this." It's like a miracle of community, partnering with those who build empires from scratch with integrity, fostering emotional justice in the hectic daily routine. With a touch of light humor, he laughs. "You turned me into a salesman, Anna, from heir to street vendor, relieving the fatigue of long hours." But look, this growth is leading to challenges that will contrast with the fall of a giant. Just think, Anna expands to a mobile cart, calculating routes. "You go downtown, I'll stay in the neighborhood. That way we double sales," demonstrating a vision that makes the business flourish. exceeding expectations with values like honesty and quality. Lucas admires, you think about people, not just profit. That's our resilience. While word of mouth attracts more customers, transforming the small business into something promising. This phase awakens compassion in them, injecting hope for a sustainable future, like destiny, rewarding those who prioritize the common good. It's immersive, right? As if you were on the busy street, smelling the fresh cakes and watching the line grow. And then, success evolves to numbers that rival the distant empire, paving the way for an inevitable downfall. Lucas and Anna celebrate their first profitable month with a simple dinner. He says, "You created this from nothing, with values my father lost years ago," while she replies, "You helped, that's true partnership." This business growth brings a turnaround, fostering redemption by proving that empathy breeds loyalty more than power, echoing real stories of entrepreneurs who conquer giants. Anna innovates with personalized deliveries, overcoming obstacles with creativity, injecting the miracle of organic growth. He lightly jokes, "You're the boss now, I obey." A total reversal, but the focus is on the excitement of a dream coming true. But what if this flourishing highlighted the weakness of an empire in crisis? As the business gains local fame, Anna plans a permanent shop. "You take care of the decor, I'll take care of the finances. This will explode with our essence," revealing that human values overcome cold tactics, transforming smallness into a growing force. This discovery awakens courage in them, like destiny weaving success through compassion, testing whether love and integrity overcome blind ambition. Lucas reflects, "You showed me the way, Anna. This is justice for our new beginning, fostering overcoming that brightens the horizon." The humor emerges subtly when she says, "You selling cakes? Your father would have a heart attack." But the seriousness pulsates strongly. And then, this growth leads directly to the giant's fall, full of irony. While Anna and Lucas's business flourishes in Chicago, their father's empire in New York enters a deep crisis due to a lack of human innovation, like when employees start quitting en masse, complaining, "You don't listen to us, just cold numbers," leaving the old billionaire stunned. Okay? He calls emergency meetings, yelling at directors to fix this now, but without the compassion Anna instills in the business, ideas dry up and customers flee to more empathetic competitors. This downfall triggers an ironic twist, as if fate were punishing heartless greed, injecting lessons of overcoming that his father initially ignores. Lucas, hearing rumors, thinks, "You reap what you sow, Dad. Without human innovation, the giant falls," but keeps his distance, focusing on his new beginning. And think right, how real companies collapse by ignoring the human side, like tech giants that lose talent due to toxic cultures, testing whether there's redemption for those who prioritize profit over people. The desperate father cuts costs drastically, firing more people mercilessly, muttering, "You think this will solve the problem? We'll see." But the lack of human innovation accelerates the crisis, with shares plummeting and partners abandoning ship. This downfall brings injustice to loyal employees, tying in with those corporate scandals where greed leads to collapse, fostering a miracle of afterthought in the old man. Lucas receives a call from a former colleague. "You escaped at the right time. It's a soulless chaos here," confirming that the empire collapses because it ignores values like compassion. With a touch of bitter humor, the father thinks, "My son resigned, and now this, an irony of fate," lightening the drama for a second. But look, this downfall is leading to ironies that will involve the rejected couple. Just think, the father tries to innovate by copying old tactics, but without a human touch. Products fail in the market, with customers saying, "You've lost your shine, we'll turn to others," accelerating the crisis that exposes deep weaknesses. This phase inspires courage in former employees who leave for more ethical startups, instilling hope that empires will fall to make way for the new. Lucas, watching the news, comments to Anna, "You see, without human resilience, nothing lasts," transforming the downfall into a living lesson. It's immersive, right? As if you were in the chaotic boardroom, feeling the panic and the phones ringing nonstop. And then, the collapse evolves to a point where the father needs unexpected help, full of twists and turns. The empire loses key contracts due to lack of innovation, with the father isolated in his tower, muttering, "You messed up big time, old man," ignoring what really matters, but still too proud to admit it. This crisis brings subtle redemption, echoing the real downfalls of corporations that neglect empathy, fostering emotional justice for the oppressed. Anna, hearing the news, tells Lucas, "You're free of this. Our path is better," injecting compassion into the contrast between their worlds. Lucas lightly jokes, "A giant falling? It sounds like a movie, but it's my father's life." But the focus is on the emotion of a crumbling legacy. But what if this downfall led to an irony where the rejected become the savior? As stocks plummet further, the father calls in expensive consultants, but nothing solves the lack of human innovation. Thinking, "You built this, and now it's crumbling without a soul," fostering a forced transformation imposed by fate. This fall awakens a miracle of belated humility, testing whether pride can yield to overcoming, injecting hope for change into the chaos. Lucas reflects, "You're paying the price, Dad, for ignoring your heart." But the couple remains strong, oblivious to the distant drama. The humor is subtle when Anna says, "Your father falling, our cake rising." Cosmic balance, but the seriousness pulsates strongly. And so this crisis leads directly to the irony of fate, where help comes from where least expected. With the empire in New York crumbling in crisis, Lucas's father, desperate and out of options, discovers the success of Anna and Lucas's small business in Chicago, needing help from the couple he once rejected. "Okay." He calls his son after months of silence, his voice hoarse, saying, "You and that waitress have created something innovative. I need advice to save this place." Admitting for the first time the irony that renegades hold the keys to overcoming. This twist of fate awakens a transformation in the old man, forcing him to swallow his pride and ask for help, injecting hope that compassion can come from where least expected. Lucas, surprised, asks Anna, "Do you think we can help? He kicked us out, but that's poetic justice." And she courageously agrees to a virtual meeting, demonstrating the human values the empire has lost. And think how life loves ironies, like a boss asking for help from a fired employee, testing whether there's redemption in belated humility. The father on the phone confesses, "You resigned, and now I see your choice was right." The empire is falling without human innovation, needing the fresh ideas of the couple he scorned, miraculously turning the tide. This irony brings reluctant compassion to Lucas, who responds, "You rejected us, Dad, but we help out of decency, not pity," fostering an unexpected family overcoming. Anna contributes practical tips. You need to listen to people, not just profits. That turns crises into opportunities, overcoming resentment with emotional justice. With a touch of bitter humor, the father laughs, "You, a former heir, lecturing me. Crazy world," easing the dramatic tension. But look, this dependence is leading to lessons that will redeem the old man once and for all. Just think, the father travels to Chicago humbly, sitting in his simple little apartment and saying, "You built something real here. I need this vision to save what's left," depending on the rejected couple to innovate and stem the financial hemorrhage. This irony of fate awakens courage in him as he admits his mistakes, partnering with those tycoons who ask their rivals for help, injecting a miracle of reconciliation. Lucas and Anna share strategies. You focus on empathy, Dad, like we do with local clients, fostering redemption through forgotten values. It's immersive, right? As if you were in the cramped room, feeling the discomfort and electricity of the role reversal. And then the request evolves into a collaboration that exposes the true value of things. Lucas, leading the conversation, says, "You called us weak, now you need us." Irony, huh? While his father agrees, "You're right, son. This is a hard lesson," needing the couple's expertise to restructure the collapsing empire. This phase brings upheaval, testing whether pride can yield to overcoming obstacles, injecting hope of restored bonds through compassion. Anna adds, "You learn that people come before money. That saves businesses, gracefully overcoming the past." Lucas lightly jokes, "From rejects to consultants, quick promotion," but the focus is on the thrill of a capricious destiny. But what if this irony led to a redemption that changes everything for the aging billionaire? As the father jots down ideas, murmuring, "You saved the day, boys. This is a miracle." He depends on the rejected couple to innovate and revive the giant, fostering a transformation that echoes poetic justice. This irony awakens compassion in the air, like fate weaving threads of courage to unite what was broken, testing ultimate redemption. Anna smiles. "You see, Dad? Human values overcome crises, injecting resilience into the unexpected encounter. The humor is subtle when the father says, "You owe me one, son," or rather, "I owe you." But the seriousness pulsates strongly. And then, this dependence leads directly to ultimate redemption, where profound lessons will be learned. With his empire in ruins and depending on the couple, the elderly billionaire sits with Lucas and Anna in their little Chicago apartment, eyes downcast, saying, "You were right, son. True value isn't in the bank, but in the heart." Finally learning that greed without compassion leads to emptiness, okay? He listens to their ideas, humbly noting, "You showed me, Anna, that innovation comes from empathy, not power," marking a profound transformation where pride gives way to true redemption. This lesson awakens courage in him as he admits past mistakes, as if fate were offering a miracle of family reconciliation, injecting hope that change is possible even at the end of the line. Lucas compassionately says, "You rejected us, Dad, but we forgive. That's our justice," fostering the resilience that unites divided generations. And think right, how stubborn old men sometimes redeem themselves, like a proud father asking his children for forgiveness, testing whether love overcomes lost time. The father, his voice trembling, confesses, "You built something pure here, while I accumulated empty fortunes." That's a hard lesson, embracing Lucas for the first time in years, sealing the final redemption with tears that wash away years of coldness. This turnaround brings emotional justice, joining those who find peace on their deathbed by valuing the human over the material, fostering a miracle with an open heart. Anna wisely adds, "You learn now, the value is in people, not in gold," overcoming resentment with grace that inspires everyone. With a touch of subtle humor, the father laughs, "You turned me into a student at 70? It's never too late," lightening the emotional burden. But look, this redemption is paving the way for a new legacy, where human values prevail. Just think, the father implements the suggested changes, saving parts of the empire with touches of human innovation, telling the directors, "Do you hear that? I learned from my son and daughter-in-law that the heart guides success," marking redemption as a collective transformation. This phase awakens renewed hope in the family, instilling compassion the old man never knew, like fate weaving threads of courage to heal old wounds. Lucas reflects, "You've changed, Dad. That's overcoming worth billions, fostering justice that balances the past." It's immersive, right? As if you were at the family reunion, feeling the lighter air and the genuine smiles. And then, the final lesson evolves into a future where true value shines, touching everyone. The elderly billionaire, now more humble, leaves a charity fund inspired by Anna's business, murmuring, "You saved me, kids. This is the miracle I needed," completing the redemption by prioritizing the greater good over ego. This final irony brings overcoming for all, echoing real stories of tycoons who become humanized in the end, fostering redemption that inspires positive legacies. Anna embraces her father-in-law. "You see now, the heart is the greatest empire," injecting hope into broken cycles. Lucas lightly jokes, "You've become good, Dad." A miracle indeed. But the focus is on the emotion of a family reborn. But what if this redemption showed that love always wins? In the end, as their father returns to New York changed, Lucas and Anna celebrate, "You brought us together again, destiny," with lessons worth their weight in gold, with the final redemption fostering a transformation that proves the power of the heart over the bank. This phase awakens lasting compassion, like a miracle weaving emotional justice for those who made mistakes but learned, testing whether the courage to change saves souls. Their father sends a letter saying, "You taught me true value. Thank you for overcoming," injecting hope into the air. The humor is subtle when Anna says, "You convinced the stubborn one, Lucas, hero," but the seriousness pulsates strongly. And so, this redemption ends the journey, leaving a legacy of love that defied everything.